Hello, this is Trevor. In this video, we're going to walk through Didactic Octo Paddles in Cyber Apocalypse 2023. So I downloaded the files and I have it running. Let's pull up the site and make sure we're ready to go, which of course is a good idea to do before you start the video. But, you know, sometimes so many steps, you forget one. All right. So we've got a login screen. Let's look at what kind of traffic we get. Login. Cool. Let's look at the files. So I've got it all laid out here in tree. It is a node application. And what I did was, it took me a little while, but I started looking through some of the code, especially around the challenge middleware, the auth middleware. Nope. Admin middleware right here. What I noticed was that right here, we've got admin middleware, right? It checks the session cookie. If one doesn't exist, it kicks you out, right? It decodes the session cookie. And right here it says, if decoded.header.alg equals none, kick them out. Else, we do this. Else, if it's HS256, we decode it as normal and log them in if it's valid. But then we have this else statement, right? It says verify the cookie with a null signature or no algorithms, or using the algorithm, no keys, sorry. Using the algorithm defined in the header, and then trust it. Log them in if it's valid. So I thought, well, cool. So all I have to do is bypass this statement, right? And I wrote a little bit of code to modify a session token, or to create one and modify it. Let's see. Do I create it from scratch? Looks like I do. Nope, I don't. So I need to get with, that's just silly. I really don't need to do that, but because this is how I wrote it, I better, but let's walk through it. So what I do is I have these two helper functions that takes a part of the JWT, turns it into a dictionary, and then does the opposite. Takes a dictionary and returns it into an encoded part of the JWT. I then receive an argument JWT and separate the different portions. I changed the algorithm, and you see here how I did it with caps so that it bypasses this, but still has an algorithm of none. So we'll fall down to this else statement. I also modified the expiration so that I didn't have any problems with that. Turned it back into a JWT and then printed it out. So let's get a JWT, which I don't know what they look like. Somehow I knew at the time. I guess we could just create one. Or was there another like route that assigned one? Routes, index. Login. There's a register route. Okay. Register. Username A, password A, register. Cool. Now we can log in with, well, now we should be assigned one. We're not assigned one yet. Let's log in. A, login. There we go. So now we've got a valid, or here's a JWT in the right format. So let's copy this and run the script. So I'm going to do Python create admin token and give it the JWT that I was issued. We get back a different JWT. Let's copy that and modify our session. Control A, V, save it, and then revisit the page. Something did not work. What didn't work? I don't know why it didn't work. What did I do wrong? Let's look at the format. So I'm going to do token.dev and AV JWT. What the crap? Did I? Decode as base 64. There. Well, that's right. Type. Oh. This looks screwed up a little bit. Let me put an equal there, fix that, and put an equal here to fix that. That looks fine. Expiration, issued at expiration, yeah. All that looks fine. So why didn't it work? What's the page I wanted to go to? Cart. Oh, and this could be the same issue I was running into before, and it had to do with the path. Yeah. No. All right, let me stop the video, figure out what's going on. I'll be right back. Okay, so what was going on, you can see in these requests, when I was getting both, like the cart, the cookie wasn't being sent. And I'm not sure why. What I ended up doing was just deleting it, adding a new one, making sure the path was set to the root, and then using the same, cookie I got in this output. And now I just visited admin and you can see it worked when I actually sent the modified cookie through. And just to show you, this is the modified cookie. We'll go to decoder, Control A, V. You can see that this is the none one. Cool. So now we've got admin access, and we needed to be able to get the flag, right? We just, not much here. Next, I looked through the code, and let's see. This was in the views. Was it not here? Carts, no. It was in the route. In the get admin. Right here, we can see render admin. Boom. So this code is interesting because what it's doing is it's taking the value of usernames, and then with the backticks, all of this is going to execute that, and then it's going to turn it into template code by doing the render, and then insert it into the template. So to me, that looked like SSTI. And so what I ended up doing was registering a user with, that trying to take advantage of that SSTI. So let's go back to here, and I'm going to go actually to register. And we're going to register. We'll just register. And I think I already did. We'll register a new one so that I know where the request is. Cool. Proxy. Post. I'm going to send this to repeater. And then, so what I ended up using for username, because remember, that's where it's going to fire on usernames. So I did boom, 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 /test dot to string dot constructor dot call. So right here, we just any test string, and then we're getting the constructor of that object, or not object, but string. And then we're going to call return. Now we've got a function, global.process.main module. And what we need is constructor dot underscore load child process boom dot exec sync cat flag dot txt dot to string boom, and then we need to run it. We need actually this first, then we need to run it, then we need to close the template brackets. That looks fine. Okay, so we're defining a string and then getting its toString, which is a function, right? So let's walk through that a little bit. I should be able to do that right here. Go to console, test dot toString, which is a function dot constructor, and you can see that's the function constructor. Now we're going to call that on dot call on an empty object, comma. Let's see. I don't know if this will work, but console.log 1. Oh, we didn't freaking run it. Ha! See that? We used the function to create this, and then these two parentheses ran it, and it ran what was inside of this string here. Hope that makes sense. That's the principle or the technique that we're taking advantage of here. And then we just need to get a hold of the global. We can't, we want to be able to run child process, right? We want to get a hold of processes so we can run something like exec sync. And so we're starting with global. Global, not this, not this. Global is not defined here, but it is in this template object. So we're returning it, working our way through the gadgets to be able to load child process. So this is equivalent to, require child process. And then we're running exec sync, and this should, be fairly straightforward. We're just catting that and then writing it to the output. Awesome. So let's send this. User registered. Now let's log in as the admin, which we'll need our cookie for, our session token. Actually, we have, let's see. I don't know if we already have it or still have it. Look at that. There we go. So we logged in and we do see the flag printed out. Very cool. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Goodbye.